Hello, everyone. Welcome to our live stream. I want to welcome all the folks on our Facebook and Twitter and YouTube feeds. And I think I might be missing some WCNC.com. Fred Shropshire here, WCNC Charlotte Defender, Alex Shabbat, talking Where's the Money this evening. Alex, you're always doing these great stories and enlightening the public on programs that are available for people, especially during this time, during a pandemic, during a slow economy. And you've got a story tonight, I think, that is going to be very interesting for a lot of people, especially family members. They might have family members or people looking at this feed right now might be in the situation. But there are employment programs that can enhance your income, can help you out. But if you don't meet the threshold, even if you get close to the threshold, you're left in the dark. And you have a story where you're talking about that tonight.
Yeah, for sure, Fred, and good to see Tuesday's going well. So yeah, this is a new program. It's not new to the government, but I don't think we've covered it extensively, and I personally haven't. It's called the Lost Wages Assistance Program. I don't know if any of you who are listening have heard of it, but it's a federal program, unemployment program, and it's meant to be a supplemental program. So basically, in addition to whatever other unemployment benefits you're receiving, you can apply for this program. And so in order to qualify for the program, you need to already, one of the qualifications is you need to already be making $100 a week from benefits, unemployment benefits. So if you're under that, you don't qualify. So we're talking to a young man. He's a recent college graduate who basically was impacted by the pandemic, and his job that he had lined up for after college kept getting pushed off. Well, he missed the cutoff of that $100 requirement by just $4. He was making benefits after he applied. The total amount was $96. So, you can imagine the frustration he's feeling. He said, literally, I'm right there on the line, making $96. Well, for the LWA program, you need to be making $100. And so $4 short, less than the amount that you can count on one hand per week. And so had he qualified for that program, he would have been getting an extra $300 a week instead of just the $96 a week he's getting. Add another $300 per week. That's the amount he's now thinking about that he's lost. So a little background about what situation he was in. He graduated from college, lined up a job. Ironically, it was as an economic analyst, just as the economy is taking a tumble. And the job first pushed him off from June to August as a start date. Then he got another email saying actually the start date was going to be in January 2021. And he's thinking, of course, I can't wait that long with no job. So he tried to apply for some other jobs and he didn't have any luck, which is why he applied for unemployment benefits. And he was approved for $96 a week of unemployment benefits, but he's having a challenging time. He signed his new lease for the job, which is based in California, and he's having trouble. He doesn't know how much longer he can pay more money coming in, so he's still scrambling to get a new job. But really, it's a story about this program that has this cutoff of $100. It's a federally funded program, and he just missed it.
Wow. And I'm looking at some of the comments coming in. One says, it's hard out here. I'm in college, and I must say it is extremely stressful right now. That's from Raymond. Deborah Bogan says, I've been out of work since July because of COVID. And then a couple of people just, expressing the same thing that I think a lot of people are going to feel when they see your story. Just give them the money, one woman said. And then she also said that this is BS, her words, not mine. And then another person saying, Margaret saying, I'm still laid off. My employer shut us down on March 8th. And then another one, Deborah, says it's saying again that I had COVID, hospital 2 weeks, and still on oxygen with scarred lungs. So, a lot of these situations, all of them really described here, putting people behind the eight ball. One of the interesting things that you talk about is that you discovered that these programs exist in other places, but they're not the same. It's not uniform across the United States. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, one of the layers of this story is that we discovered a little bit of an inconsistency. Basically, so this college graduate says had he lived in another state, he may have qualified for the program. And the reason for that is we found that 13 other states have unemployment minimums payments. So there's a certain minimum payment you get from unemployment once you qualify from unemployment in one of those states, Massachusetts, those states, and the minimum in those 13 states is at least $100. So different states have different minimums, but there's at least 13 states that have a following the whole conversation. Okay, what's the relevance of $100? Well, $100 is the cutoff for that LWA program, the Lost Wages Assistance Program. If you get under that amount, you don't qualify for the program. So in those 13 states, once you're approved for unemployment benefits, you're automatically getting at least $100, which means by a dollar amount, you'd be qualifying for the LWA program. Unfortunately for this gentleman, neither of the Carolinas are among those 13 states. And so in North Carolina, it's got actually one of the lowest minimums in the country, $15. He was making far beyond that at 96, but still wasn't able to make the cutoff of the $100 requirement for the LWA program. So it's really just raising questions about, okay, we've got a federal program, and if you're in North Carolina and you're approved for benefits, you may or may not qualify from a dollar amount for that federal program. But if you are approved from benefits in another state like Massachusetts, and there's a number of others, from a dollar amount, you would qualify for the program. So it's just a little bit unevenly or inconsistently distributed. And that's kind of one of the points that we're going to be raising. Again, this is the Lost Wages Assistance Program. Some of you may have heard of it. Some of you may not. It's the first case that I've handled, first story I'm telling about this particular story, this issue that this guy's dealing with. So these are the kind of stories we try to bring light to and bring attention to. This is a unique one from what I've heard. And I want to encourage anyone, if you've had issues similar to this with the Lost Wages Assistance Program, you can reach out to me on my Facebook page. You can follow me at Alex Shabbat, email me, ashabbat@wcnc.com. I'd also encourage you, if you're just looking for general information, go to our website, wcnc.com/money. But again, what we're talking about here is the Lost Wages Assistance Program. And this gentleman says he knows there's not a great, his name's Colin Labar, knows there's not necessarily a great solution, but he just wants to raise the issue in case there's others out there, the bigger picture, and say, hey, you know, this is what happened to him. He missed it by $4 per week. It's had a huge impact on him. And maybe there's others out there, and he hopes the federal government will keep that in mind if they do future stimulus or if they do future programs, that it shouldn't matter so much what state you're in.
I have a quick question before I let you go. And I like to always ask you and the other defenders when we talk about stories that we're going to have, because you guys have covered a pretty wide survey of topics in programs that exist. I always like to know, is there anything about this that surprised you as you were digging through this, as you were listening to this young man's story? Anything jump out?
Yeah, I mean, I think one thing that caught my attention is, I mean, he raised an interesting point, which is that one of the reasons he didn't make this program and was making $96 and maybe not more is he was a college graduate. He said, hey, I was spending my college years studying. I had a minimal amount of time to be working. He did work some, but it's no fault of his own, obviously. He's studying to get a job and doing what he could to work it on the side. But I think that was kind of an interesting point, maybe a little surprising, but just kind of an interesting thing to think about, that, you know, he was pointing out that the reason, it wasn't like he wasn't wanting to work or something like that. He wanted to work. He was just in college. So that caught my attention. Definitely. I could sympathize with that. And just the fact that there's that many states out there, I think is very surprising that have different unemployment minimums. Like I said, North Carolina is the third lowest minimum in the country, and others have, which at $15 an hour, but then you have Massachusetts, their minimum is $147. So that means if you qualify for benefits in Massachusetts, you're automatically getting at least $147 per week. So just that huge variety is just surprising as I was going through the data. According to usafacts.org, that's where I compiled a lot of the comparisons between states. So I want to let you know, also coming up, you know, at 11, when you watch our story, I've asked North Carolina unemployment officials about this discrepancy and how it varies from state to state. And I think you should tune in, because you'll see how they responded to the questions I've been asking and the issues that we raised, and yeah, hopefully people will keep it in mind in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. Very important to know about this program and others that you and the other defenders have highlighted. Alex Shabbat, your story is going to be on tonight at 11, as you've been saying, in our Where's the Money franchise. Again, if you have a question or you have an issue that you want our defenders to tackle, you can email them. We're going to pop that email address here on your screen, the defenders at defenders@WCNC.com. Also, if you log on to WCNC.com on our webpage, there's a special page, WCNC.com/money, where you can get all of this information that can help you during this time. We hope you tune into our story. Alex has it for you tonight at 11 in our newscast.